This is going to be a really impromptu random video. I don't know when it's going to go up. I was just going to put this in the vlog, but I think I just want to make it its own video because I think at some point in time, I kind of lost the plot with my YouTube channel, right? I think I'm trying not to cry. I think I got so caught up in the performative nature of it, right? So instead of sitting down and like actually talking to people, it was like, oh, I need to like script stuff, or I need to, you know, whatever. And it took the joy out of it for me. And what I've always done is I've always wanted to like connect with people. So I recently posted about how I was going to be making some changes to my content. And one of the things that I wanted to do is to talk about why I want to do that and give you a little bit of like my story. I think I've given you like bits and pieces like here and there, but if you guys don't know, I am 36. My name is Jess. I was raised in the great state of Alaska by my mother, and my dad and my grandma, my Oma. My parents got divorced when I was really, really young. All of that stuff's in the past, right? But that kind of gives you like a little bit of like my life. I've always had OCD. It presented itself when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I started having like your run-of-the-mill like intrusive thoughts, and like it just really scared the ever-living shit out of me. Kind of went away. I moved to Ohio when I was 12 and moved in with my aunt. Started going to school, went to an art like high school. It was fantastic. I ended up dropping out when like right before I graduated actually, so that I could start working full time. I've been working full time since then. When I was 20, I met my ex-husband, and I haven't ever really talked about this on here because I think that I'm working through some of my like PTSD, and I guess the point where it's like, how much of this shit do you really want to like share on the internet? But just to kind of let you know, met him when I was 21 or 20, got married at 21, moved to California, lived there for 2.5 years, 2 years, almost 2 years. Then we moved to North Carolina, and then I moved back to Ohio when we separated when I was like 25. We got back together, and up until, you guys know, I got a divorce. You guys saw that all over YouTube. What I don't talk about is the PTSD from that. So it was not a physically abusive relationship, but he was very narcissistic. He was a very, very angry human being. Used to like back me into corners, and like, he was a Marine, so he used to like threaten to fucking kill me, and you know, just all this stuff. And he was very controlling of my money. If I did something that he didn't like, or, you know, didn't necessarily agree with, he would get just like so mad. And when something like that happens, you start to kind of like lose who you are, right? And towards the end of our relationship, I think it was the last, well, like 2 years, I had started YouTube, and I started like meeting people, and I started kind of rediscovering who I was. And that was kind of the catalyst for why I ended up getting a divorce, because I started reading again, and I saw these wonderful badass characters, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, right? Who have I become? Because when you are suffering, you become this person to try to like cope with it. And I didn't like who I'd become. So I ended up moving in with my roommate, you know, got a divorce, all that, met Rocco. Actually met Rocco before my divorce was finalized. It had been over for forever, but we finally got a divorce. And in meeting Rocco, I was like kind of learning that it's okay to like be your own person. Like, this is the first relationship I've ever been in where we do things that we each other don't agree with. Like, there's certain choices Rocco makes that I'm like, I don't agree with that. And I mean like things that I think most relationships would probably be like, that is awful. And I don't mean like cheating or anything like that, right? And same with him. Like, he's like, you know, financially, the decisions that you make are fucking stupid. And I'm like, yeah. Like, but it's also this like loving understanding of like, okay, you're doing this thing, and let me help you. I am in no way judging you, but let me help you. Or the understanding of, you are still your own person, right? Like, Rocco and I are as good as fucking married. Like, eventually we'll get married, but right now we are just as good as married. We've owned a house together. We have multiple animals. The cars are in both of our names. Like, financially, we are tied together. And we're not going anywhere. We're in it for the long haul. But I think over learning like who I am again, and learning and working through my mental illness, like my ADHD, my OCD, my anxiety, like with a therapist. I've been in therapy for almost 4 years now. Like learning all of that and learning to accept who I am has made me get to the point where some of the things, getting back to my original point, some of the things that I see online when it comes to emotionally spending, right? So my anxiety, my OCD, my ADHD, my PTSD, the alphabet that I live my life by, has put me in a position where when I am going through it, especially like I am right now, and that's why I wanted to come on here and kind of talk about it, because this is why I've been struggling so much to be present online. But when I'm going through it, I want to escape, right? Like there have been a couple of times in the last few years where I almost ended up in the hospital. I got as far as to almost checking myself in, was like in check-in, and was like, you know what, I'm actually okay. When you're an adult, like most of the time, unless you're like threatening to kill yourself, you can like leave. So I like went home. I was like, Rocco, like come back and get me, like I'm leaving. And but I've been at that point a couple of times this year, and it is this never-ending gaping hole of just filling it with shit, right? Like if I see this person and they're doing so well online, and these are the things that they take, and these are the supplements that they take, or this is the life that they live, they go to Pilates, they, have these, it sounds so stupid, but they have these shoes, this perfume, this makeup that makes them, more lovable from other people, and, they're more valued because they look better, and, whatever it might be, like the clothes, the hair, all this shit. I just kind of realized that, like, I fell into that to try to make myself feel better, to try to make myself feel more whole. And that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. You're just trying to fill something that doesn't actually exist in the way that you think it does. And if you're in the same boat as me and you think it might be tied to what's going on with you mental health wise, my best advice that I can give you, and I'm still working through it, right? Every day I'm working through it, and it'll probably be the rest of my life that I will do this, because as my therapist taught me, you are not defined by your ABC disorder, right? Like whatever it might be, like your anxiety, PTSD, OCD, like whatever. You're not defined by that. Like you just have some sort of imbalance that you live with. This is just something that's a part of you that doesn't need to be revolted against. It doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be accepted. So I'm working towards that, like the acceptance part of it. And then I'm also working towards finding value in things that are not monetary. So that can be the connection with my friends. Like, what makes me happy? Like coming home and playing Fortnite, like Rocco and I getting takeout and playing Fortnite and cuddling with the dogs. And I don't know, like stuff like that makes me happy. Spending time with my friends, like that makes me happy. Reading my books, connecting on YouTube, talking to you guys. And I kind of lost that along the way. Like I changed a lot from like 26 to, I would say like the first 2 years of my YouTube channel, I was just I look at those videos and I'm like, bitch, you had no idea. Like, yes, you were struggling differently at that time, but you had no idea. And I don't know, I just wanted to come on and talk to you guys about that and like open up that conversation if this is something other people struggle with. Like I tend to think that readers are more sensitive to stuff like that, so I feel like this is probably gonna be some like good, I don't know, a good chat for some of us to have in the comments to like connect with people. But I've just learned also that keeping my life smaller makes me feel better. I've like talked about this a little bit, but I try to avoid like certain topics or certain discussions or like being super involved in like the news and things like that. And what I try to focus on, and some of us are just, it's the lot we've been dealt in life, y'all. Like if I get too involved, like I just spiral and I just like literally want to jump off a bridge. Like I just can't do it. I cannot function when I'm thinking, about stuff like that. And what I try to do is in my community or in my group of friends or in people that I interact with regularly, like I try to make them feel so seen and so heard and so loved. And like, I try to show grace and I try to show understanding, even if somebody pisses me off. Like, I'm constantly like, are they okay? Like, what can I do? Like, I just try to focus on like what I can actually affect, and not like, I can't make that big of a difference, right? Like, but I can make a big fucking difference in someone's day, and that's what I try to do. And just finding other ways to fulfill myself besides just like buying shit, or, you know, doing like, this is kind of funny, but like, I think I have a book haul coming, but like, it's from the last 6 months, but like doing gigantic book hauls, or buying a fuck ton of makeup, or, you know, buying a lot of clothes, like just redoing my bedroom, you know, just stuff like that. Like, I don't want that to be, I don't know, what I focus on. Like, I want it to be like my life, and, you know, what I can affect, and, you know, just not giving my money to people who don't deserve my money too. Like, I work too damn hard to be given just money willy-nilly. Like, and especially because it just like takes how I'm feeling and like what I'm doing, and it like weaponizes it against me. I'm using my own mental health issues to weaponize it against myself. Like, now I'm in debt and mentally ill. Woo! Like, I can't do it. So, but yeah. I don't know if I'll ever upload this. If I upload this, please say hi. Just, you know, kind of going through some shit, having some epiphanies, and what is the point of the internet if not to get on here and absolutely embarrass yourself, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna go play some Fortnite.